first podcast, Revenant Lifestyle, the Revenant podcast. Let's do it, man. How you been?
First of many. If all goes to plan, they will be coming out weekly.
Weekly.
And we are going to keep everybody on their New Year's resolutions.
Absolutely.
Keep you from that high and just stretch it out over the rest of the year.
The goal of Revenant is to create that mindset that you have at the beginning of the year. So you're all pumped and you go, I want to do this, I want to do that. We want to keep you in that mindset the entire year. That's what this podcast is for. That's what for all of our social media is for. That's what we want to do for you. So, how you been, man?
I've been good. It's been a while. We've been talking about this a little bit. I'm glad we're finally sitting down and able to start cranking out some content here.
It's been about a month since we actually decided that this is what we want to try to create. And honestly, I had no idea that a podcast would be anywhere close to what we would be doing, but this is my favorite thing right now.
And it's a strange first step, but I think we're just going to roll with it and go from here.
We're going to roll with it and go from here. So, my name is Alex Sewell. This is my co-host.
My name is Ricky Hughes.
Ricky Hughes. Lifelong friends since high school. Basically,
Well, before high school, but...
True. Since about the 4th or 5th grade, actually.
I think, 4th or 5th. I can't remember which one. They kind of blur together, but
either
one would be pretty sufficient.
Yeah, so we just wanted to create this Revenant company, which is just all about bringing you back from the dead, in the sense that you're emotionally, spiritually, psychologically dead. We want to bring you back. We want to help motivate you, whether that pertains to fitness or just general daily motivation. We want to help you guys get back on track. So we're trying to do a weekly podcast. I like it so far. This is our very first one, so bear with us. We're going to try to make it as great as we can.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what you been up to, man?
Well, I'm selling cars out at a car dealership of all places. It's Lewis Automotive. We've got Ford, Toyota, Dodge, that whole line. I've been doing that since June, so I'm going on month 7 now.
Awesome, man. That's dope. I like that.
It is. I pulled the plug on college.
Good money selling cars.
After 2 years, and now I'm getting into sales, learning some good skills.
Dude, that's awesome.
What are you doing?
Yikes. I mean, I'm doing a lot, but at the same time, I'm not doing much. I work at Buffalo Wild Wings. If you want to come in Aggieville in Manhattan, Kansas, I'm working there. I'm going to seat you. I'm going to take care of you there. I love it there right now, but I'm just trying to make more money right now.
Right.
I think 2018 right now for me is just all about making money, finding a way to just create revenue for myself.
Right.
Currently right now I'm working at Buffalo Wild Wings, having a great time there. If you like wings, come on.
Do they have some pretty good wings? I'm a wing guy myself. I like boneless.
Great wings.
But I've only gone once.
To where? B-Dubs?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
You've only been to B-Dubs once?
I've only been once.
What'd you get?
It was right before my contest. It was part of the competition prep. We had to go pick up a dog, or we went to go look at a dog. One of my roommates got a chocolate lab, and I don't even remember what I got. Some cheeseburger probably.
Yeah, good.
For some reason, I rationalized that over wings.
Good. I mean, our wings are great.
Are the burgers
good? I love them. But also, I get like a 50% discount, so
that helps.
That helps me like them even more.
That's true. If you're saving money, it's pretty easy to get after the value.
Exactly. So, but basically, essentially, we want this podcast to be about motivation and fitness. So anybody who's into getting in better shape, anybody who's into just creating a better mindset for themselves. I think that's our goal of this weekly podcast, is to just make people get hyped about life, get excited about just regular, general daily things. And if you're looking to get in shape, we're here. We can help you with that too. We can help you workout programs, diet plans, anything in between. We want to help you with that. So
we're pretty much going to cover it all. That's the game plan here.
yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Not today. that'd be a little much for one episode.
No,
but
right.
Over the
Absolutely.
course of the program, we plan on having a wide variety of content.
Heck yeah. So basically, I think we should just get into a lot of people out there who are new into fitness. A lot of people want to know what exercises are going to be good for me. And I think, we would like to, in a daily podcast form, or weekly rather, give you some tips on some workouts that we like, and how you can incorporate those into your workouts. So what do you got? Give me a workout that you really like, and tell me why you like it.
So are we talking about an exercise here?
Exercise, yeah.
Okay, so
Individual
I'm gonna pick
exercise.
out one of the most either underrated or underutilized movements in the gym. And I think I would have to go with the reverse grip pull down. The reason being, everybody's out there doing the wide grip and they're starting to get some lat width.
Nice.
But they just,
a little bit of width.
they're ignoring
wide,
the inside
yeah.
of their lats and the bottom of their trapezius, which when you're doing a reverse grip pull down and you really stick your chest out and get a good contraction at the bottom, there's just nothing that's going to hit the middle of your back any better than that.
Absolutely. And I love that exercise because you can get like if you want to focus that on your back, pulling down like that, you can. Also, if you want to get a nice little bicep workout in, you can focus on that here and just bring it down, and it gets just a nice, perfect little arm and a back pump at the same time in the same exercise.
It never hurts to get a bonus bicep pump.
Ever.
A BBP, if you will, bonus
Ever.
bicep pump. I'm going to
love
patent
it.
that.
I love it. I think my exercise of the week that I would like to give our listeners is the barbell front raise. So I don't hit shoulders as much as I should.
I don't think
I'm going to be
anybody
honest.
does.
I don't think I don't think anybody hits them as much as they should. But barbell front raise, just bring that from here straight up like that or whatever. It's killing your front deltoids. It's a great exercise, and in my personal opinion, my favorite shoulder exercise as of right now of all time. I mean,
Really?
there's quite a bit out there. Obviously, nobody loves to do shoulders.
Well, yeah.
Because shoulders means low weight. You can't do a crazy amount of weight when you're working your shoulders. Barbell front raises, I think that's just great. I think it's a great exercise to just build those bowling ball shoulder physique.
Right.
So
And when you get some big delts on a physique, it just completely changes.
yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
it's one thing to have big arms and you have a big chest,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're neglecting your shoulders and you're not tying it together
Yeah.
with those big boulders, then it's just not going to be the same.
I mean, shoulders and traps are what make you look good in a t-shirt.
exactly.
You're going to be wide and you're going to be tall right here. And it just, that's what you need to focus on more, I don't focus on shoulders as much as I could, and I definitely need to focus on them a lot more. And the barbell front raise is one of my favorite exercises to just isolate that front deltoid muscle and just get it really pumped up. So
Exactly. So now that we covered some of the hidden exercises that aren't always going to be in all of the programs that you might find online,
right.
let's cover some there's going to be a lot of new gym goers, especially during these few weeks of the beginning of the year here. Let's cover some of the basic questions people might have, perhaps some of the most Googled fitness questions, or just some basic informational questions like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first one.
Hit me with a question,
If I lift weights, will I get bigger muscles?
So, if I lift weights, will I get bigger? That's such it's such a generic question because there's so much that goes into creating mass on your body. It's not just about how many or how many weights I'm going to lift. There's so much to it, but what do you think?
Well,
I want to hear your thoughts on this one.
Just lifting weights isn't going to be the one variable that's going to promote muscle growth. Obviously, you're not going to just get bigger muscles unless you're going through puberty or something like that and playing some sports. You can get bigger muscles without lifting weights. You're just going to grow. That's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But just because you're lifting weights doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get bigger.
No.
Reason being, if you're completely malnourished and you don't have the caloric needs that your body needs to build the muscle, if you're not getting enough protein, enough carbs to fuel your workouts, you're simply not going to get that mass you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 1-2 punch of you're training correctly, but then nutrition is a huge part of that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Your diet. I mean, I think the phrase is like, to create the perfect body that you want, it's 80% in the kitchen, 20% in the gym.
I can see that.
And I can see that too. Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I don't eat very well. I'm trying to build a lot of mass on myself, so I'm just focusing on carbs right now. That's just carbs and carbs and carbs, building mass, protein, and stuff like that. But you won't get one without the other.
Exactly.
In the sense that if you're just on a really good diet, that can help you lose a lot of weight. But if you're not putting that time in the gym, exercising daily, you're not going to see the same results there.
And that's one of the most basic questions that I see come up. I don't know how many people have asked me why they're not gaining weight. And then I ask them how many calories they're taking in each day, and they have no idea. Mm-hmm. They claim that they're just eating as much as they can.
Right.
But that's just kind of going to go by a day-to-day feel. If you're not actually tracking what you're eating, there's no way you're going to make sure you hit your macronutrient requirements.
And it's it takes so much more effort to burn the calories that you intake each day than it does to intake those calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, you've got to be burning more calories than what you intake, and it's difficult. It's not an easy thing to do by any means.
So on to the next question regarding training frequency. How often should I work out? Say how many times per week?
How often should I? So I have mixed feelings about this because when I first started working out, it was more of like, I don't need a rest day because every time when I'm not working out, my muscles are resting during that time.
Right.
So, but now, on the particular program that I'm on myself, it's more, it's like 6 days on, 1 day off type program. And rest days are necessary, but that depends on what part of your, I don't even know how to call it, what part of your exercise level that you're currently at right now. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that then?
Well, there's a few different ways to look at it. And part of it depends on why you're working out. If you're working out because that's what you love to do, that's your passion, then if you want to go in there 5, 6 days a week, then that's fine.
Right,
just
absolutely.
Set up your program so that it makes sense. Maybe you're hitting every muscle group 2, maybe 3 times a week. That's not a big deal. If you're just looking to put in the minimal amount of work, to get results, maybe that is only 2 or 3 days a week. It's all just kind of going to depend on how your body responds to that.
100%. And what a lot of people need to realize is that every single person has a different body type.
Exactly.
So like what you just said is that everybody will respond differently to certain workout schedules. So I mean, there are some people who take no rest days at all, and that's fine because that works for their body type. Other people may need 2 or 3 rest days a week, and that's 100% fine. You just have to find your groove. Try it out. Go maybe, okay, I'm going to go 6 days a week and I'm going to rest on that 7th day.
Right.
And then I'm going to go 6 days again. And then you're getting like just, I'm really fatigued right now. I can't go another day right now. And that's fine. So maybe you switch your scheduling to I'm only doing 5 days a week and then 2 days off, and that's fine. And it's just it's such a personal question.
Oh yeah.
There's a very broad answer, and that is just it's all about you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because everybody's going to respond to training differently. If you have one guy that does 4 sets of 10 on bench press, he can't even move for the rest of the week. He's so sore. And then somebody else goes and does a set of 10 by 10, and they're perfectly fine at bench press the next day, even if they wanted to.
Yeah, and it's just all about who you are, finding your groove. But I think another question that a lot of people have is that, okay, I have no time to exercise. What should I do? And for me, my most blunt answer is that's BS.
Yeah.
It's BS, because if let's say you wake up at 7 a.m. every morning.
Sure.
7 a.m. you go to work at 8. You work 8 to 5. You come home. Maybe between 5 and 7 you're eating dinner. Maybe you go to bed at 9. Well, guess what? After you eat dinner, you've got a 2-hour period between 7 and 9 that you can go hit that gym. And I know that people are going to feel tired. They're going to feel weak at that point. But I guess it depends how like crazy busy your schedule really is. But I don't think that there's really an excuse of I don't have time to work out.
I think what it is it's not a problem not having time. It's a problem of their priorities aren't set up right.
Right.
If they care about making progress in the gym, or if they want to change their life, they want to get a 6-pack, they want to go find some hot girl that they can't get right now because they're fat. There's no way around that. You just make an effort.
Yeah.
But if that means you just stop watching TV, you go to bed a little earlier, and then you get up earlier and you work out in the morning,
I think
that's setting your priorities right.
I think so many people have outside distractions in their day that they let become a part of their regular routine schedule. So like, let's say you wake up at 6 a.m. but you don't work till 8. Between 6 a.m. and 8, a lot of people are just like, all right, I'm going to wake up, eat some food, drink some coffee, and just chill and relax and watch TV right before I go to work. And that's fine, but that time right there you could also be using to go, I wake up at 6, I don't work till 8, I'm going to go to the gym now.
Exactly.
You have time that you're wasting on other stuff that you could be using on stuff like exercise or anything like that. And it's not even about exercise. I don't care if you are into working out. Let's say your hobby is fixing cars and you just feel like I've got no time to work on my hobby. Use that same time that you're wasting on watching TV and all that stuff to focus on what you really want to do in life. And I think another one, and I'll let you talk about this because you're a little bit better about this than I am, but sleep. How many hours do people waste on sleep?
There's a lot of people that for whatever reason in their head, they think they need to sleep 10, 11, 12 hours a day, and that's ridiculous. I mean, yes, it's just like recovery and working out. Everybody has different requirements for their sleep to get them in that optimal state.
Yeah.
But if you just go to bed earlier, for me personally, I waste so much time from when I get off work at 6.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work out right after work.
PM.
Yeah,
Right.
6 p.m.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So then I'm done by 7:30, 8 o'clock because it takes me a little bit of time to get ready for the gym and take my pre-workout and everything. But then I wouldn't go to bed till like midnight, and I never got anything productive done after that 8:30, 9 o'clock. So what I started doing is instead of just staying up watching TV or just scrolling through social media on my phone, I decided I was going to go to bed earlier. Just 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a decent time. It's not ridiculous or anything.
No.
But then I started getting up at 4:45. So that's 6 hours and 45 minutes of sleep, which for me, that's plenty.
4:45. That's
it's
all right.
early.
Listen. I'm all about that, but 4:45 is early. But there's something about waking up at like 4:45 and just walking outside your house and just standing there and going, no one else is up right now.
Exactly.
Like, I'm up. It's just so quiet. I'm up. I'm grinding. I'm making the difference. Everyone else, they're sound asleep right now. And I like that.
You're
too.
putting in work before anybody else is even, their first alarm's even going off. And then they're going to hit snooze 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you
can get into the gym by 5 in the morning, you'd be surprised how many people are actually there. Yeah. There are other people up grinding when you are, but it is few and far between.
Yeah, and
so you're already getting that work in the morning, and that's just going to prime your mindset, and you're going to be firing on all cylinders by 7:30.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. And I think the one thing I know that you've heard this, and I've heard this, and I think if you talk to any successful people out there, every single one will tell you that you need 5 to 6 hours of sleep is the maximum amount you need to be sleeping, because you can do the most stuff within 5 or 6 hours of sleep. After that, you've got like 19, 20 hours left in your day to just do everything. And I have a huge problem with that. I'm trying to change my sleep schedule to about midnight to 6.
And that's still pretty good.
Right, yeah, because I wake up at 6 a.m. Most mornings I don't have to work to about 10, 11, 11:30 a.m. So I've got 4 hours at least in the morning to do anything from go to the gym, read more books, and then after I get off work, I can do stuff like, okay, like I'm not gonna go to bed till midnight right now. I've got tons of time to just kill it, just work on other really successful stuff. Maybe pick up more hours at my job or something like that. Make more money. But I think what a lot of people do is they just and I used to do this a lot, is that they sorry, I'm trying to describe how to explain this. And I guess it's like, have you ever just slept for like 12 hours?
Absolutely.
Just a long 12 hours. It feels great, but you wake up and then you realize, I just slept 12 hours. There's only 24 hours in a day.
You slept half of it.
Half of my day is gone now. So you've only got 12 more hours to get whatever you had planned done to get done. And I just think the biggest advice I would give to people is to just sleep less.
Sleep less.
And I'm not trying to say that I'm perfect on getting 6 hours of sleep. I've just recently started doing that, and I'm still at about 8-7 hours of sleep. I'm trying to work my way down to 6, but every single time. The less amount of sleep I get, I feel so much better. And that may not make sense to a lot of people, but when you try it yourself, it's just mind-boggling.
It really is.
Yeah, how much more time you have to do stuff. So basically, to go back to, I have no time to work out. What should I do? Make it a freaking priority. Make it a priority, like breathing is. Like, okay, if I don't breathe for 2 hours, I'm dead.
You're dead.
Have that same mindset for working out. And it doesn't have to be working out. It's for whatever you want to do with your life that you feel like you don't have enough time for now. Make it a priority, like it is life or death.
Exactly. Because those same people that are saying they don't have time to work out, they don't have time to do their homework or whatever it is that they should be doing, but for whatever reason they're not.
There's always time.
They're the same people that are spending 2 hours scrolling through social media on their phone.
I know. And I'm really bad about that myself. And honestly, these first few podcasts might be a little bit hypocritical on myself. I'm still trying to change myself. I still scroll through social media way more than I should, and there's no point in doing it. If you spend 30 minutes to freaking 2 hours on social media, think about what you could be doing in that time. Like, quit caring about other people's lives and just focus on your own.
Exactly. Even if you aren't even if you're not redirecting that time to something that's immediately useful to you, just spending less time worrying about what other people are doing and seeing what they have and getting envious of them, and just focus on your life.
Yeah.
That alone is going to make a huge difference.
And that whole mindset of like, oh man, like that dude's so lucky. I wish I had that guy's life. I freaking hate that. That dude's so lucky. No, he's not lucky at all. He worked for where he's at right now.
Exactly. He got there because he wasn't scrolling through looking at your social media. He was out doing something with his life.
I have a lot of problems. I've hung out with a lot of crowds that it's just, partying and drinking. And yeah, I'm having a great time, but I'm not going anywhere with that crowd.
Exactly.
I'm not making any progress. And part of our Revenant is, our motto is passion, purpose, progress. Find your passion, find your purpose, and then just make progress. It doesn't have to be much progress at all, but you gotta start somewhere. You just you have to start going somewhere.
Absolutely. It's all about the direction you're going. It's not how fast you're getting there. It's not how, part of it is how far you've came, because that's what you can look back and you can see that you are going in the right direction.
Right.
But there's so many little steps you can take to start rolling that ball down the hill. And once it starts rolling, things are going to start happening for you.
Absolutely. So, we've talked about a lot of maybe like fitness, motivational stuff right now, but we don't want this podcast to just be a bland, boring fitness thing or whatever. So I want to know some random questions. We want to get to know a lot of people, and I'm going to start with just you for just a random question right now. Okay. I just want to know, what would be the coolest animal to scale up to the size of a horse, and why? And I know that this is a crazy turn from what we've just been talking about, but sometimes you just get so hyped and just so motivated, and you gotta go, okay, that's like way too much to think about right now. I want to go to something else. Part of this podcast, I want to have a random question segment.
You've got to have some fun in there to mix it up, spice it up a little bit.
So, my random question for you today is, if you could scale any animal up to the size of a horse, what would it be and why?
I would go with just a normal ant. I don't know a lot about ants.
An ant?
But just a normal ant that runs around getting in your food all the time when you're having a picnic. They work together so well.
The size of a horse, though?
And if it was the size of a horse, we could move planets with those. Not literally, because that wouldn't make any sense, but a mountain? If you chopped up a mountain and got that you would lift that up, you could move that anywhere you wanted with ants.
Did you know that ants, and I'm about 90% sure I'm right on this, ants are blind. Look that up for me real quick. Look at that. Ants don't have eyes, and their little freaking feelers things they have, those smell out the scent of a trail that another ant has left, and that's how ants do it. Do ants have eyes? I don't think they do. I mean, if you watch like Bug's Life or something, ants have eyes, but that's
so
BS.
They do in fact have eyes.
What?
They're made up of a bunch of little tiny lenses, and they're good at detecting movement, but they don't see very clearly.
Okay, so it's just like a little hazy.
That's what it's sounding like.
See, yeah. And the only reason I said that is because I remember I read a book in like the 6th or 7th grade about ants, and they made a point on how they don't have eyes. And I was like, well, I don't think that's correct at all, because I've watched Bug's Life. They have eyes, and I'd imagine Pixar is as close to real as you can get. But I don't know.
It sounded like I'm still reading through that article in ants. It sounds like there's a whole bunch of different types, and maybe some of them are blind. It sounds like maybe the bulldog ant, if I read that right.
Basically, what I heard was that like every ant that goes out, right, on like a little path,
right,
trail thing, leaves a scent, and then the feelers on the other ants can sense that or can smell that scent. I don't freaking know how it works, and then just follow that, and that's why they all walk like in the same line.
That makes sense, because they take almost the exact same steps of whatever the ant in front of them is. If for some reason they're going in some weird curvy line, that's the way they're all just following around through there.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they didn't have ants, but let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that if you could scale up any animal to the size of a horse, you're picking an ant.
That's going to be an ant. Imagine how much work they could do.
Big ass ant.
That's probably how they did the pyramids, is they just figured out how to make some bigger ants.
They just made bigger ants to just lift.
Yeah, I don't even think you would need horse-sized ants for that.
An ant can lift like twice its body weight.
I think
something.
It's more than that.
One of those, some type of beetle insect can do that. I honestly have no clue which one it is, but I know some insect can do that. I think it can lift twice its.
Ants can carry 10 to 50 times their body weight.
Okay, so picture an ant the size of a horse, though, that still has that strength capacity.
Exactly.
To lift 10 to 50 times?
10 to 50. That's a huge range, but that's what they're saying.
Okay, hold on. I need to look up how much. Darn it. How much the average horse weighs. Because if this is an ant the size of a horse,
that's going to be a lot of weight that you're lifting.
840 to 2,200 pounds. So let's just say, for sake of the podcast, that this ant is 2,200 pounds. And it can lift.
We'll go on the high side. We'll go 50.
Do what? Oh, yeah, 50? Yeah. 50 times its weight. How much is that?
That's
That's
110,000 pounds.
100 and what?
110,000.
110,000 pounds that thing is lifting on top of it. That's a big ant.
That's the justification we need.
But my thing is, are ants that aggressive though?
I don't
Because,
think they're very aggressive.
I don't like. If it's a horse-sized spider, I'm gone. I'm out.
I would be terrified of that.
Because they have like fangs and stuff, and they can freaking eat you. But a horse-sized ant, I'm just like, it's an ant, you know. Like it's sort of like a creepy call. I think my girlfriend Morgan hates ants. Hates them so much. I don't mind them. I love ants. I think they're cool. I think the way that they can make their hives or hills.
They're hills.
Sorry. Yeah, not hives. It's just so freaking cool. I respect them all the time. And I try not to step on like the hills, obviously, right? I'm not a freaking...
Yeah, you're not just going to go around smashing their little homes just because you're bigger.
Right. So, I don't know. That's pretty cool, though.
It's going to be the ant.
I like that. Ant.
I'm going to start working on that.
Ant.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Random question.
When you put your toilet paper on the little dispenser, do you go with the hanging flap on the top or on the bottom?
Like pulling.
So when you pull it out, is it coming from the top of the roll or is it coming from underneath on the bottom of the roll?
I think top for sure.
Really?
I'm not pulling from the bottom. Wait, hold on. Let me think. If I have a toilet paper roll, hold on. I have to
Well, you got to visualize
this. Yeah, for myself. Toilet paper roll. No. I don't pull it from underneath. I pull it so that it pulls off of the top.
Okay. See,
Why? What do you do?
I go from underneath.
Why?
And the reason is I just feel like when you're pulling from the bottom, it's pulling in the roll sort of from the top half. And that kind of gets it spinning a little better. And I just think it comes off better.
If you want to know what I think you're wrong.
Well,
100%. Because top is just, it makes more sense to pull. Because I don't know that you're, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know that your argument for the pulling from the bottom pulls from the top, because even if it's from the top, isn't it pulling from sort of like that back half top-ish? I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I think we're just going to have to either A, agree to disagree, or B, we're just going to have to test it out sometime.
You know what? Screw all of this. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know how often I replace the toilet paper rolls.
So you're one of the people that just get the last roll and then they leave it. No.
It's not like that. It's not that I empty the roll and then just like leave it there like this is somebody else's problem. It's just that I'm never the one that empties the roll. Like I've just been, I guess.
You're lucky.
Is it?
I would say
lucky
you're a lucky wiper.
Is it lucky this far that I just haven't really had to replace a toilet paper roll because I'm never the one to run out of it? I guess I'm just lucky because like someone else will put on like a full roll. Like other people will use it, and then when it gets down to like me, I'm like, oh, there's not much left, but I use what I need, and then it's done. Not like done, gone, but then there's still some left, and then the next person after me would have to use the majority of that roll, and then, oh, excuse me, I burped, and then replace it themselves. I guess I don't know. But if I have had to replace a roll before, always pulling the toilet roll from the top, not the bottom.
I think that's weird, but I don't know.
You're wrong though. So
I
that's
guess.
all that,
I mean, that's kind of what it sounded like. You're pretty confident about your answer. I was a little indifferent on mine, but I still think you should probably be pulling from the bottom.
That's all that matters. So, hey, on the topic though, while we're talking about it, and we'll get into some more motivational fitness stuff later on. But I want to know, while we're on that topic, I think a segment we would like to do is I want to know what blows your mind, not just like some crazy like pothead stoner question. I just want to know like what in general blows your mind. So
Okay.
I want to know
What
if I asked you right now, name one thing that you just think is the most interesting, mind-boggling thing out there currently, what is it?
I think it would actually have to be the fact that we're sitting here alive. Not necessarily that we're just right
Alive?
here in this spot, but the fact that there are so many organs and systems in our body that have to operate. And there's some discrepancies between how well they operate, but if they're not operating up to some certain standard, for lack of a better word, we're dead. Like if for
so
whatever
like,
reason,
just the overall complexity of the human body.
exactly.
That okay, yeah, no. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like this might look weird, but like I hold my hands out like this, and I just want to go. Okay, I want to make a fist.
It's like
I just made it, and all it is just electromagnetic electron. I'm not the best person to ask about this,
Right.
but it's just sensories from my brain telling my tendons and my muscles and all my veins to just go like that and then make a fist. I get that because the complexity of the human body is just ridiculous.
I agree. It is insane. So
Especially the brain.
So that's true.
The brain is, because I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not at all, but I've heard like that, like your brain in terms of size and complexity is as big as space.
Really?
Yeah. Have you heard that?
I've heard something
pretty sure I've heard
similar.
that. Obviously, I think space is a lot bigger because technically space is infinite and your brain can't be infinite
Right.
in a way. But there's just billion and billions of neurons in your brain. And this is cool. Ben Carson,
Yeah.
who was a neurosurgeon or a brain surgeon dude or whatever.
Some smart brain guy.
Yeah, and then ran for president for 2016, 17.
I have no idea. I don't follow politics at all.
Whatever the year Trump ran for.
Yeah, that was 16.
16. Okay, yeah. Duh. So it's every 4 years. Okay, yeah. 16. My bad. Ben Carson has a quote though that's like your brain has billions and billions of neurons, and your brain remembers and retains everything you hear and say, which is why it's important to hear and say positive stuff.
Absolutely.
Because if you're just hearing negative stuff all the time, your brain remembers all of that, and that's not good. If you're just hearing positive stuff all the time, I think in life in general, you're going to be a way more positive
Absolutely,
person.
because what you hear and what you're around all day, that's going to help shape your subconscious, and that's going to control a lot of your underlying mood. You have some control over how you're feeling, but if your baseline is just down in the dumps because you're around so many negative people, you're watching the news all the time, you're just complaining.
What's that Les Brown motivational speaker has his mother used to tell him birds of a feather flock together.
Right.
So if you're always around negative, cynical people, you will be a negative, cynical person.
Absolutely.
So like,
and if you're around,
you have to surround yourself with just positive, awesome people 24/7, or you're not going to be a positive, awesome person.
that's true. And there's no reason, like, why would you even want to be around the negative people?
I don't know. Yeah. And I think with a lot of people is that they don't even realize that they're around those people until they leave those people, and then they look back and they go, I can't believe I spent so much time
Absolutely.
hanging around with such a negative person.
And
So,
some people never realize it. They're going to go the rest of their
Yeah.
life hanging out with that same
Yeah.
crowd. Or maybe they're one of the instigators. Maybe they are the most negative person that's in their crowd. And then
Right.
they're just bringing everybody else down with
Right.
them.
and you got to change that.
Oh, yeah.
If you're that person, don't be. And we'll talk more about that, how to fix that, but just work on it. So, but yeah, so that's, I like that question about how complex, like that blows my mind too, that literally everything you've ever done is always mental, and that your body is so complex and like how it works and everything. But what blows my mind, and this is taking a completely different turn, but I was trying to think, for this little segment, what blows my mind? Watches. I mean,
Like the thing that's on your wrist right now.
a clock watch on my wrist right now blows my mind. Only because I love the fact that, it's so small, but insanely complex.
Right.
Which is cool because that sort of relates to your whole body thing, like how it's so complex.
I feel like it's kind of on a different level, but I understand what you're saying.
It's on
there.
a very,
It's a weak
on a
analogy,
very-
but it's still there.
a very minuscule level. But yeah, watches blow my mind because like it's just, there are so many tiny complex mechanisms inside of a watch, and they all work together and they work, but it's not so much how a watch is made, which, by the way, if you haven't seen
I have not seen how a watch is made.
how watchmakers are amazing, like, I think anyways, because like they take such like tiny pieces and they've just got these tiny frail hands and they put everything together and it works. But more so than how a watch works, it blows my mind that can be a social piece. Like it's something you put on your wrist that tells the time, but if it says Rolex on it, it's worth way more.
Oh,
money.
yeah.
Or how somebody would buy a watch for like I'm about 95% sure there's watches upwards of like $25 million. I'm gonna look up how much what's the most expensive watch.
No matter how much they are, it's not like they're going to be that much more accurate.
All it does is tell the freaking time.
Like,
right?
how dead on do you need to know what time it is?
Let me look at this. I mean, what's the most expensive watch in the world? I mean, I'm getting some of these for $1 million to $25 million a piece.
So are those production watches, or is there something custom about them? Are they handmade, or?
No, these are 25 million euros. So
I think that's more than the U.S. dollar.
It's still a lot of money. Yeah. 13.5 million. And that's my thing. It's a Rolex, but look at it. Look at it. What looks so great about it, though?
Like, sure, it looks.
It's
Honestly, I think
cool.
it looks old. Is that it?
Old, yeah.
Is that an old watch?
Oh, I have no
Maybe
idea.
it's something that got auctioned off or something like that.
Paul Newman Rolex Daytona, 1968.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, 1968. But I'm like, what? It just tells the freaking time. Like this watch that I have on my hand right now, which I like. It's a very nice watch. Tells the time. It has a stopwatch, everything like that. Cost me $14.99 on Amazon, and I'm about 90% sure I didn't even buy it. I think this watch was a gift. I don't know, but I think somebody else bought this watch for me for $15, and it does the same thing. Like, just that's why just watches in general blow my mind. So I mean, that's what blows my mind, and it's kind of like ridiculous, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, when you started, I wasn't really sure where you're going with that. I mean, they've had watches for a long time. They can't be too overly complicated on the function.
That's what I'm saying. Is it like, why? After the first watch was made, where there was just some guy that was like, "Hey, check it out. I made something that you can put on your wrist that tells the time of the day, so that you can always have this on you." Why does it have to get any better or more expensive than that? It should just be like, "Oh, cool, you made one of those. Why don't you sell them to us?" And then everyone was like, "Well, what if we took one of those and put diamonds on it?"
Yeah, what if we made it just a little fancier?
I mean, I could win the freaking Powerball, and I don't care to spend $25 million on a watch, because why?
Yeah, and then when you break it and you're out $25 million.
Yeah, and it's none of those people wear those watches. They just have them like on like a cabinet sort of glass display thing, and I'm like, great. I'm gonna like walk into your house. I'm gonna see your watches. I'm gonna go, cool. Like, I can pull out my phone right now and also look at the time. I don't understand watches. That being said, though, I've worn a watch every day for like the past 10 years.
And why is that?
I love them, but the most expensive I think I've ever paid for a watch is like $80.
So why do you even wear a watch? I'm curious.
I think good question. I think for me it's just I like having the stopwatch right there. Honestly, 100% primarily for food. Like, if I put a pizza in the oven, it takes me less time to go beep beep and then my timer is started than it is to start the timer on like the oven or something. And I like if I'm at work or something and like I'm not supposed to be on my phone, but I want to know what time it is, boom, I know the time.
That is true.
My watch is 100% for the time.
Right.
I use it how I think a watch should be.
Yeah, you're not wearing it to make a statement. You're just wearing it to figure out what time it is.
Also, it looks kind of cool. And that's fine with me.
But does it look as cool as a $25 million watch?
That's the thing, though. Is like, I mean, on a way lower scale, this watch that I have on right now, and I don't know if you guys can see the watch or not, it looks identical to a G-Shock, and it performs exactly the same as that, and it will last just as long as a G-Shock, but it's not one. It's a $15 watch as opposed to me spending $200 on a G-Shock that does the same thing.
Heck, and even if it does last half as long, maybe it's not as durable, then just buy another one. You're at $30.
I'll buy another. Yeah, right.
Instead of $200.
Right. I'm at $30. Yeah. So, anyways, well, all right. Let's stop talking about random stuff. Let's go back into the whole purpose of this startup company, Revenant. We want to help you stay in the same mentality that you had in the first 3 weeks of the new year. Like, new year, new me. I'm going to get in shape. I think the goal of our Revenant company is to keep you in that mindset year round.
Right.
And just I want to be successful. I want to do this. I'm going to kill it this year, but not lose sight of that mindset.
You've got to
and
keep your
go
goals
after.
at the front of your mindset, because we're a week into January now. We're a week into 2018. And I would be willing to bet that at least half of the people that set out resolutions or
Are done.
goals,
They're done.
they're over it. They had a
They're
hard
like,
week at
"Oh,
work, and then
I
they
wanted to do that,
just
but
wanted to treat
yeah.
themselves. Maybe they're just binge watching a TV series or something, and they
And
already gave up.
a lot of people, I see this in a lot of people, is that they don't know, like, they want to be successful. They want to be really great and just kill it in life, but they don't know what to do. And for those people out there, maybe who are listening to this right now, one of my favorite quotes by a motivational speaker who's one of my favorite speakers of all time, named Les Brown, is, "You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great." And I freaking love that, because in a way, that's what we're doing with this podcast and with this Revenant lifestyle, motivation, fitness company as a whole. Is that, yeah, maybe it doesn't take off right off the bat, but we would never know unless we got started.
Exactly.
We can't be great. Yeah, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. And it's literally as simple as that. That's
Absolutely.
it.
It's the most simple way of saying it. There's so many people out there that they have a great idea, and they think they need to have it absolutely perfect before they even start.
No.
Maybe it is with fitness. They think they need to find the absolute exact best workout program, the exact supplements to take, and get everything just perfect, have the planets line before they even start.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with how
No.
successful you're going to be.
It does. It's like, listen, like, I'm going to be completely honest. Our setup that we have right here was like a $50 to like a $100 setup, something like that. Like with these mics and everything, we had no plans of being just these huge, great, successful, awesome podcasts. But we knew if we wanted to get to that point, we have to get started.
Absolutely.
We have to get the bare necessities that we need to get started with this. And so that's what we did. And that's I love that quote, though, because it doesn't matter if you're a really overweight, obese person trying to lose weight, or if you're a very thin, skinny person trying to gain weight. It doesn't matter where you're at. Like, you don't have to be this crazy, awesome, great, motivated person, but you've got to get started, though.
Yeah, you just have to start.
Work that way. Right. And it's complicated, but at the same time, it's as simple as that. You know what I mean?
That's, so many people are just overthinking things when really the best step they could do is just start small.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how big the goal is, there's a really good chance that there's something you could do today,
right,
that would get that ball rolling and start moving you towards that big goal that you have.
Yeah. And you just get started.
So
I don't care what your goal is. It could be like something as silly, and no, not even silly. I shouldn't call this silly, because if this is your passion, it's great. But it could be something like, I want to be the best magician in the world. Fantastic. What are you waiting for, though?
exactly, start doing
Get
tricks.
started now, though. Get started now. It doesn't matter. Like, for example, I don't care if 2 people watch this podcast right now. I don't care if 0 people watch this. I don't care if 1 million people listen and watch this podcast. I don't care. It's just that I know this is what we want to do. This is part of our Revenant company. So we're going to get started, though. We're not just going to stall and wait and just waste time not doing anything. So we might as well get started. And this is our first podcast, and it's probably not that great. You know, like I mean, I'm having a blast right now. I love what I'm doing, but I don't care how far this first podcast goes. It doesn't matter to me because all I know is that I got started. I made an effort, and I'm making, even if it's just very little progress, I'm still making progress, and that's all I care about.
You're taking that first chunk off the big proverbial elephant, and you're just eating it bite by bite. And that is one thing that.
What did you say? Proverbial
elephant.
Yeah, I like that.
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
And that is something that Grant Cardone talks about. I just read his book, The 10X Rule. It's phenomenal.
If you guys haven't heard of or read or seen anything of Grant Cardone, gotta get into him. An amazing person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He has an awesome story. He started selling cars when I think he was about 25. He got into sales and started a few businesses, training salespeople, and he's blown up since then. He's into real estate. He's into just about everything. But one thing he says in there is that success is your duty, obligation, and responsibility. And part of what that goes with is you might have enough money for yourself. Maybe you don't think you need more, but what about your family?
Mm-hmm.
What about when your dad gets sick? What about when your kid breaks an arm? What about when he goes to college? What if you die and your income stops? Yeah. You need to build a legacy that's going to keep taking care of the people that are around you.
Yeah, and so many people don't understand how do I say this? Yeah. So many people don't really understand what responsibility means. And I've 100% been there, being an irresponsible kid, adult, whatever, like it is, but it's not you creating your future, you following your passion, finding your purpose, making progress, and being successful. It's not just something you think you have to do. It's a responsibility.
It is.
It's you have to do that. You have to do that. Even if you stay single, you don't marry, you don't have any kids for your whole life, it doesn't matter. It's still your responsibility to make your life better and to make somebody else's life better. Your success is your responsibility. I like that.
It's your responsibility to pay back those that invested time in you when you were young. Maybe they're your parents that went out watching your football games or took you back to school shopping and they wanted the best for you. Yeah. And then if you just waste your life away, they're not getting anything back.
And I don't care if you came from a family that didn't do that stuff for you. A lot of people come from backgrounds where their mother and fathers weren't there to take them back to school shopping or anything like that. And that sucks. And I have total sympathy for those people, but it's your responsibility for when you have kids to make sure that you don't raise them like your parents raised you. It's your responsibility to make sure that you're successful enough that you can do that stuff.
Exactly.
For other people. Yeah. And I absolutely love Grant Cardone. He has several books out. You've read more of his books than I have for sure, but he's got several books out. What's your favorite book? Are you reading a book from him right now?
I'm not.
Or by him?
My goal a little backstory. I used to absolutely hate reading for whatever reason. I thought it was a waste of time.
100%.
I didn't like it. I couldn't finish a book. didn't ever get into it.
Yeah.
But my goal, I read 2 books at the end of December, and it kind of sparked my interest in learning again. And I have a goal set of 50 books for this year, which that's a big step for me. That's almost a book a week. And I ended 2017 reading the 10X rule. That's the book I just talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. It talks about how you need to 10X your life.
That's by Grant Cardone,
That's
right?
by Grant Cardone.
Yeah,
you need to set goals that are 10 times higher than what you normally set, and then you need to take actions that are 10 times more massive in order to get there. So I read that one, and then I read If You're Not First, You're Last. I think it's right here. That one was also fantastic.
What's that one?
I've got a couple more that are lined up.
Oh, that's
that
also by Grant
Cardone.
Good.
When he wrote that, it was in a big recession, and it's how you need to. Basically, it gives some sales tips on how to stay fresh in the market and how to ensure that you're not just there for the ride, but you're actually directing it.
Yeah.
I think I have a pile of books over there that I'm kind of trying to look at. Be Obsessed or Be Average is the next one on my list. And I'm hoping to get that knocked out pretty soon. But yeah, he has, I think, 5 or 6 books out right now.
Yeah, something like that. I love that guy.
Oh yeah,
and that quote that you brought up, that success is your responsibility, duty, and obligation. Like that's like, yeah, it's not just about you being successful. It's about you being successful in order to benefit others. And yeah, I love that. Because if you start looking at your life and your success and your passion as an obligation, if you start doing it for somebody else, that's going to make it way better.
Absolutely. You've got to have a bigger reason behind what you're doing than just your own benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't care what that passion of yours is. If it's like, I don't know, like you want to be the greatest, most successful skateboarder of all time, that's fantastic. But you got to realize that, like, okay, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this so that, like, maybe I can prove other people wrong, or I'm doing this so that I can make money for my mom and my dad and my family and my kids and everything like that. And I love that quote.
I do too. So to start to wrap things up here, I think the biggest takeaway from this is it goes back to that Les Brown quote. And you really just, whatever your goals are, it doesn't matter. You just need to take that first step.
You have to get started. And this is, it's just like this podcast right here. Like, I don't care where this goes. I honestly don't. But what I do care about is that we got started on this, though. We made that first little leap, and more people need to do that, I think.
I agree. People just need to stop talking and they need to start doing.
Yeah. And that was a big thing for me too, was like just going like, oh, like, you know, like when I'm short on cash, you know, like I'm going, oh, like I'm not really that concerned about it right now, because I know that like someday I'm going to be crazy successful. But I'm not doing anything to
right.
work.
It's not just going to fall into your lap. You got to do something in order to get it.
Yeah. So just if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to be a happier, healthier person, if you're trying to gain muscle, if you're trying to have a better relationship with your kids or anything like that, all you have to do is get started. That's it. You just have to take one little step, and it'll be several little steps at a time, but you're not going to make any difference at all in your life until you get started.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. So, yeah. that's that's the advice and for this podcast. And I think that in general, this is sort of the feel and the premise of our Revenant podcast in general.
Yeah. So in closing, hopefully you made it this far, and when you get here, just stop just letting today happen, and you'll make a difference. No matter what it is, just go do something.
Yeah, do something. If it's getting less sleep, like we talked about earlier, if it's having a better relationship with your kids or something like that, if you've been stalling throughout your life, quit stalling and just get started on something. And that's what we want to bring throughout this whole weekly podcast. Ideally,
the plan is weekly. We'll see how it goes, but that is the plan right now.
We're aiming for 50 podcasts for the year, 52 weeks in a year.
Yep.
That's about one a week, and it might be kind of tough or whatever, but we don't care because we've already made our first one right here, right now, and we're making progress rather, and we're getting started.
Absolutely.
And that's what's and I think the whole goal of this Revenant company in general is just to help you get back on your feet. If you're in a tough spot, you're not sure what your next move is going to be, we want to help you just stay motivated and stay happy. And we hope that, we can make you laugh throughout these podcasts, laugh and stay motivated and just live a better, happier, healthier life in general, I think. So what's up?
With that said, we are going to sign off, and we will be seeing you next week on the Revenant podcast.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, guys. And yeah, like Ricky just said, Ricky Hughes, Alex Sewell, and that's it. See you later.